love Vivienne Westwood, you need to come to Southborough because look at the selection. All Vivienne Westwood.
I am a huge Vivienne Westwood collector. I literally have so many weird and rare pieces. I have a tattoo of the orb on my arm. I am a huge Vivienne Westwood fan. And so when I tell you that going to Don Quixote for Vivienne Westwood is overrated, I'm not saying that to be rude to this creator, but because as many times as I've been to Japan and I've been to a Don Quixote, and I've been a lot, I've gone to the Vivienne Westwood sections and quite often I just leave disappointed. I have never once bought anything from Don Quixote for Vivienne Westwood. One of the main reasons being because the pricing of the Vivienne Westwood available in Don Quixote is pretty much exactly the same as you can buy in store and get the whole shopping experience of going to a Vivienne Westwood. Also, as somebody who has gone to a lot of these Vivienne Westwood sections with other people in different areas of Tokyo, I can also say that, to be honest, the range that they usually have is stuff that you can typically still find in store, not just in Japan, but also here in London, here in the UK, and pretty much everywhere, typically speaking. They don't really have any exclusives available in Don Quixote. And so, as a Vivienne Westwood fan, here are a few places that I would recommend when it comes to buying Vivienne Westwood, both secondhand and brand new, and the reasons why. If you're looking for highly sought after, rare and secondhand goods, I highly recommend going to the Vivienne Westwood Closet Child in Harajuku, more specifically on Takeshita Dori. Now, this store doesn't allow any film or photography inside, but when you go in, you'll be met with a bunch of clothing, and at the back they have a ton of jewelry, and this is actually where I got my Vivienne Westwood orb lighter. You know, that orb lighter. Although they do typically work within kind of more rare and niche pieces, I did actually find the pricing on par with other places. I didn't feel like I was getting ripped off by going to the Closet Child, and it gave me an opportunity to try things on and see things that I simply didn't know existed or I didn't realise I could still buy in person. Next up is the Vivienne Westwood Red Label, which is found just outside of La Forêt in Harajuku. As well as sometimes having Japanese exclusive items, I also tend to find that the Vivienne Westwood Red Label often has some more out there and quirky pieces available because it is appealing to the crowd who go to La Forêt and go to Harajuku and Urahara. And so you can often find some quite unique pieces here that you wouldn't necessarily find in other Vivienne Westwood stores in Japan. And finally, the last place that I recommend is going to a Book Off Super Bazaar, which is basically a giant thrift shop. Now, like in any secondhand store, you can't have a direct guarantee of what you're going to find in there and how much Vivienne Westwood will be in there, but my recommendation to go to a Super Bazaar is because quite often they have a designer section, which does tend to have more Vivienne Westwood items and just a bigger stock availability.